Welcome to my favorite series on this channel. I just bought a car. Just picked this thing up. I also was just dropping off the previous owners of this car because I just had them, we agreed that they're gonna drive it to my house. They were also checking out the Touareg, but they decided not to get it because they want something with a better gas mileage. First of all, we're definitely seeing a lot of peeling clear coat. Largely reminds me of the first car I've ever owned. If you've already seen my B5S4 video, you will know that I used to own one of these. Literally the first car I ever had. So yes, common issues with them is peeling clear coat. So that's something we're gonna try and make a little better. It seems to be in pretty good shape. Let's get inside. Look at that. We got 160,000 miles. The interior is pretty clean. The only thing I don't like is the strip in the seat, but very common. Also, this is missing. This is a cup holder. Yeah, they don't usually survive very well. But here we go. I like this interior. Unfortunately, the windshield is cracked. Oh, they left their iPass. They also forgot their plate, so they're gonna be coming back. So I'm gonna make sure and give this to them. Automatic, unfortunately. Car I had as a first car years ago had an automatic transmission too, and the reason we got rid of it was because the transmission was in really bad shape. It started slipping a lot. That car was at 200 and something thousand miles, so this one is still got some life to go. These transmissions are definitely not the best, but I think you should really be concerned only after 200,000 miles. Luckily that's the case here. I drove it around, it was relatively solid, so I'm not too worried. Got the rear trunk emblem that's missing. Oh, and we also have this, which is for some reason not up there. I guess it just kept falling off. I can see some glue everywhere. You can see me. Got some gloves, got hand sanitizer, got a cutting wheel. Oh no, this is a CD. I thought this was a cutting wheel. I was like, that's not a good sign. It's not great when previous owners cut stuff off a car. Glad we have this. I can throw it back on. There we go. Ooh, we got a jack. That's nice. And a window regulator, and I don't see the motor. Maybe the issue is with the rail. They did say that the window doesn't work, so maybe it's because of this, maybe it's because of the motor. I might have a spare motor inside the house. What else we got? Brake parts, lubricant. No idea what this is. Coolant temperature sensor. Lots of gloves in this car. No idea what this is either. So they definitely did some work in this car previously. They said that they had to replace the wheel bearing. I forgot to mention they were Ukrainian, so I had a little reuniting moment with my Ukrainian people. Slava Ukraini. These wheels are rough. Capital R, rough. That is some insane curb breath. Here's the engine. Okay, we do have some coolant boiling over. It's not the best. I wonder if it overheats. We definitely know that the car runs. I drove it around. Also, this belt looks extremely reflective, which usually is a sign of it being really worn out. So I think we might have to replace this. Not looking forward to that. Looks like a pain in the butt. Yeah, slightly worried about this coolant situation. This is a weird exhaust situation. I don't think it's supposed to be curving to the left. It's supposed to be going down to here. Outside, I'm pretty satisfied with this purchase. Plus, it fits right in. It's been a little while since I bought a Audi flip car, and I'm very glad that for once we have something that runs. Because if you saw my last video, where I was working on a Chevy Cobalt, it turned out to have a blown motor, which I didn't know because it wasn't starting. We definitely have to fix this. They pulled in with the front. As you can see, that's not how we do it in this house. So much better. Sure do love this combo. It's like I said, this is a very special car to me. Not only because it's an Audi, that definitely makes it so much better, but it's also the first car I ever drove. So not counting my grandpa's Volga that I drove back in Ukraine. I was probably around 13 at the time. But anyway, once I moved to the United States, this is the car that my dad had at the time. It ended up being passed down to me. I daily drove this for a little while before the transmission blew. It was my very first Audi that was passed down to me. As you can see, it started a whole mess of car addiction. This is the car that started it all. Automatic 1.8 turbo Audi A4 in Santorin blue color that loves to peel its own clear coat. I'll try probably to fix this clear coat. Not sure if I'll succeed. It definitely has some clunks with the suspension. I'm excited, guys. I love Audis, and especially, you know, when I combine Audis with my flipping hobby. I'm not expecting a huge profit margin on this, but honestly, even if I don't make profit on it, I'm still kind of glad I got to have this thing for however long. All right, so let's dig into this. Read the codes. Here you can see up on the screen what they are. There's a lot of stuff for boost related things. it kind of sort of looks like spraying out, or maybe this cap is just bad. I think I have an extra one of these, so let's throw that in. I think this is off of a B7 A4. I would consider that a little upgrade. This is a weird brand of coils that I've never heard of. It does say it's made in Germany, so I guess that's nice. I love seeing that. I didn't pick up any codes for misfires though, so I guess I shouldn't be too concerned. Based on what I'm seeing up here, the oil leak is coming from the oil filter. I can literally see a drip coming down the oil filter as we speak. There you go. We found our big issue. I know where all our boost is going to. No idea how I didn't notice this before. Look at that. This here goes from our air intake down into the intercooler. I assume they must have bottomed out, and that's how the oil pan got scraped up, and that's why we have this here. So let's undo this. Too bad the orientation of this clamp is awful. Looks like it's some kind of a double clamp. I've never seen that before. Is that a thing? Yes, but anyway, I think we might have to go through the top. There you go. So here we have our tiny little turbo. Maybe if I push this up enough. Yeah, there you go. No oil in here, so that turbo must be in pretty good shape. Thing I don't miss about working in Audis is having to do stuff like this. This guy over here is what's holding us back. There we go. Replacing this guy should get rid of all of our codes for the ECU, for the engine. Because all I had on there were regarding boost pressure. Issue number 1 found. Hi. So the previous owner definitely sprayed some sort of a lubricant on all the bushings to try and keep a potential buyer from noticing that the bushings or the control arms, the suspension is squeaky. This corner and this corner are both broken off. So now I have to go through this pile of parts and see if I can find a regulator. They're from the B5, B8, S4. Intercooler piping, S-type thing. The sway bar from a B5, S4. Let's see if I can single-handedly bring a table in and put it here. Of course, I could move the tow rack forward, but that would be too easy, wouldn't it? Ta-da! I need to come up with a way to reorganize this, which will probably be boring. So, pretty well, here's what we got. Is it perfect? No. But will it do? Yes. After that minor distraction, we should probably get back to the stuff we were actually supposed to do. Which will be that. I do not own a window regulator for the B5 A4 anymore. I could order one. I could also steal one from this car. believe this is operational. I don't know for sure. When you take a closer look, I noticed this little blue piece right there. So that's supposed to be all the way in, keeping the water and moisture out of where the connections are made. As you can see inside, there is a connector in there, but it's pushed in somehow. So what we have to do is just push it back up. I think that would fix our issue. Oh, I heard a little click and it's all the way in. Down and up. Well, there it is. That's our problem. This here is our wheel speed sensor. Is it supposed to look like this? No. I'm assuming that when they were doing the wheel bearing, this thing was so seized up in there they couldn't get it out. So they ended up ripping it out, which is not the best idea. I'm a big fan of this stuff. Put this on. Replace the mirror. I had one of these already, so didn't have to spend any money on it. We also have attached the rear emblem. I just used some silicone for it. It's easy to remove, no big deal. All right, with those few things squared away, let's take her for a drive and see how she's doing. All things considered, this thing doesn't sound too bad, even though it's missing a muffler and has some weird aftermarket exhaust system. It's really not too bad. So there's a significantly noticeable creak in the suspension. I don't know if you guys can hear it over the wind and the exhaust, but every bump, I mean, I can hear it by just pushing down on the car. So the shocks probably have seen better days, and every time I turn the steering wheel, I can hear it too. I don't know, maybe, well, yeah, it has to be the shock, right? I don't think the bushing would cause that. Shift decent, pretty smooth. Quick little pull over here. Seems solid. No shaking, no crazy noises. Brakes were good. And no check engine light popped up from that either. So that's good news. Something I should definitely do is try and get it on a jack and see how loose the wheels are. Ooh, you guys see that? That is some hardcore play.